Okay, I'm holding this in my hand to take pictures. This is the LNL project with the Ren NZXT case, and I wanted to just show a few things, problems I've had, and some things I'm doing. Number one is I want to maximize the cooling, which I've already talked about. The NZXT comes with a, let me see if I can get this without jerking it too much. It comes with a 200 millimeter FD200 that fits up in the top when you first get the case. Okay, up in the top. And I want to go to push-pull. Okay, where I have a push-pull system up there on top with a H100i radiator. I ran into several problems. First off, I said, okay, to run push-pull I needed to get another FD200 that fits in there. And guess what? NZXT no longer makes the FD200. Now they claim, when I called them up, they claimed that the only FD200s that are available are the ones that are currently in their Phantom case. This is the Phantom case. And it's nice in that it's, you know, it has blue LED on it and everything else. But if you want to buy two, or a second one to put up there for a push-pull system, they don't sell them. And you've got to go find one on eBay or someplace else. Now I did ask them, do they make a replacement? And their comment was, yes, we make the FZ200 as a direct replacement. Now I asked them, I said, are you sure it's a direct replacement? And they said yes. And so I bought one of these FZ200s with red LEDs and all of that. Well, unfortunately, the FZ200 won't work, and I apologize, I'm trying to do some things. The reason being is the FZ200 is actually bigger than the FD200. And you can see that gap right there as I line them up. And that's just enough to where you cannot get an FZ200 up in this top of this case. Now someone would say, well, why don't you put it up on top of the case? Well, the reason being is you can't. Well, you can if you don't put the top of the case back on, the top cover back on. But I want the top cover back on. So I'm coming up with, there's another manufacturer that may fit, and I'll see that. But I'm having second thoughts as to whether I want to have the push-pull, all of it, inside of here as shown, where I would have a 200 here, the radiator here, then another set. I'm always a little leery when they put fan systems sitting right on top of the motherboard. I've always been leery of that. I've never seen anything good come out in the long term. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that I had a bunch of 80 millimeter LED fans, and I found out that I could actually put two of them side by side on the bottom. This way I have a 140 millimeter fan pulling air in, going this way. I can't remove this case right here, so it's pushing across there. There'll be a couple things here, but not a lot. But it's still an air restriction going in. And then by putting the 80 millimeters on the bottom, I'll have air going this way. So I'll be moving air through here. I've already tested it, and it moves pretty good, as well as the fans that'll be here on the cover plate. Now, the other thing I discovered, that if these other two fans I'm ordering work, you can't, even if you had the FD200, you would not be able to get it up into this area here. And the reason being is that when they ran the cabling for the top units, the controllers, they didn't run them all through this place here. It would have been easy to just slip it across here. What they ran is they ran 4 wires, one of them being USB 3 through here. Okay, which is where the system would sit, and that would get in the way of anything you put up here for cooling. Okay, so I had to pull it all out, and then I basically had to just unloosen things a little bit to get that USB 3.0. That is bad quality control, NZXT. Bad, 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 bad. You should be ashamed of yourself for something like that. The other thing is I want to talk about, I haven't mounted it yet, but I'll be putting with my power supply unit. You'll notice the bottom here, you have the two standoffs, and then I had to manufacture one for here because this one case did not come with 4 of the rubber standoffs. Again, bad quality control, NZX. Shame on you. You are better than that. Okay, now I also should mention, when you put the 80 millimeters in here, you will have to drill some holes on the bottom. See if I can tip this without killing it. On the bottom to mount it. Hold on a bit. And this is the because of the closeness of this in here. This is you'll get them really close here and here. And then all you had to do is just cut out a little bit of the venting system, venting holes here, and then you put some nice nuts on it and bind it up really close. And I also, on the other side, there are some rubber grommets between the fan and the case for shock absorption. Okay. So let me also then take this down. My alternate B is, plan B is again to put 2 140s right in here. Now the way you do that is you have to build yourself mounting brackets, and it'll work. But basically I took metal ruler, cut it in half. These will actually go right in there. Okay, it's probably going to be a little washout, but these will go right in here, and I'll mount them. You still have airflow, and then I will mount the 140s on these, and that gives me good. They're the SP140s, Corvair SP140s, and that will give me good air coming from the top, going through, and still give me room to run any cables or anything like that, because I still may put lights up here, up on top. So, but these are things you need to be aware of if you buy the NZXT Phantom. And I have not heard, you would have to look at the other Phantom models and see what 200 millimeter fans they come with. If they come with the FD200, you are not going to be able to very easily find another FD200 and stick them in on top. Now if the other fans, I'm still waiting for them to come in. If they work, then I'll let you know about that. But this has been a good project. I'm enjoying the engineering aspect of it, trying to do some things to customize it and do that. I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to go over to the Green Guardian. I've finished that, and I'll add that to this, because in customizing I did some things with lights, and I did some things with light control that you might find interesting on this too, which I'll incorporate that. I'm basically using the Green Guardian as an example on how to test and do some of my designs on for this, and then I'll incorporate these, and then I've got a third project coming up somebody wants me to do, and I'll probably see about entering some of those too. So be right back. This is the Green Guardian with all its lights flashing and everything like that. Those actually are sound controlled flashings, just that if you turn music on, it's really cool. And then of course you can see the front end in that. This might be a little bit bright on the display, but what you can see is I put my cooling system in that I wanted. The fans, that there's 2 80 millimeter fans in here, and you can see a little bit that they're green lights. Green lighted, and there's a blue light on top. My granddaughter likes a lot of lights. I got a little light strip going on top of my memory there, and I had to use double back tape because the tape they used kept coming off. I also have a green strip in the back and then a red strip here, and then this strip here actually is sound activated. It's all in there. It comes with all of that. Now, what I did is I had to do a bit of a wiring job because, let me turn this a bit, I wanted to use the, I'll get you another one example. Let me throw some light on, maybe it'll help, maybe not, I don't know. But let me turn this. And you can see right here, I'll get close, right here is my switch control, and I'll get that. And what I did was I bought a case and I cut the center out and then I wired it. Okay, and then I have some hot swaps there, and I put a DVD player up on top. Okay. Now that lighting in the Green Guardian, I'm back to the components because I'm doing the same thing in the L&L project, is a combination of the lighting, the super night light stuff. I got some extra cords because it's pretty long. I don't need it that long. I bought the USB 3.0 front panel US hub. As you can see, it comes and it looks like this. I need some USB 3s because the NZXT actually uses up the USB 3 plug connection, so this gives me some extras that I can mount, or I may sell these and then I'll do something else with them. But anyway, but what I did is I just drilled out this section, the center section, and it's this guy, this music LED controller that actually sits right in here. Okay, now here's the knob right there, okay, that we were pointing to, and you have to drill out all of this center section. You can't leave any bumps or anything, and it's real easy. These break off real easy, you know, any little Dremel tool will break them off real easy. You can actually cut them off, but you might not get them straight. Okay, I get close. I'm talking about cutting out this whole front and center section here. And then you will have to do some trimming on the inside here to get it done. And then all I did was Velcro it inside. It's just Velcroed inside. The problem came with the power. Okay. Now, this is just, if you look at it, it's just 12 volt DC input power, 12 to 24 volt. Now these plugs actually just pull right out, okay, but the problem is that if you do it this way and you mount this all the way into here, your power's going to be, you're going to crimp wires and stuff, and I don't like to do that. So if you're you don't know anything about soldering and stuff, all you have to do is drill, take this out. It comes out really easy. There's screws on this end, screws on this end. These plugs just pull right out. Let me get one there. See, it just pulls right out. Okay, and then these two here will pull right out as well. Now you leave one on, but you can pull these, they come right out too. And the case comes open real easy. And then about, you'll see about mid-center right in here, just drill a hole and run, basically just go ahead and get a connector, a 12 volt connector that'll work with your power supply, cut the ends, and then just run the positive negative in, and inside where this is connected, it specifically tells you plus and ground, basically plus and ground, because it's DC, but it'll tell you, and you just in fact it's the part that this is right here. You just unsolder this inside off the board and put the plus and minus in here. Run your wire in this way, because you're going to have your plug out here. Run it in this way. I do suggest you find a little rubber grommet or something that will fit in your hole. It doesn't have to be tight. It just has. You just need to protect it from metal rubbing against your cord. But anyway, you can do that. In fact, you don't even have to do it with this type of case here. You could actually set it anywhere, because the idea is to get to this knob. That's really what you need to do, is be able to get to this knob. So there are different blank cases. You could even use one of the blanks that comes with the your computer case, and just, you know, figure out where you need to put a hole in it, and then run it through. Now you will have to pull this off, and there's a connector. There's a little hex nut right behind this, and so as you put it all back together, and that's what I did. But that works, and then you just run it out your back end wherever you want. If you want it down in here, down here would be a little hard because the cover covers this. This is why I put it up here, because I just opened the door. I guess I should shine it up here. I put it up here because I could open the door. You could put it down here, but then you'd have problems getting access to the thing. But that makes it really simple, and then your cord just comes out, your power cord, and then you can run a string that way. There's places for 2 strings if you want to run 2 different strings. I probably will. I'm going to run one on the inside, and then I'm going to run one probably up on top. So these are things I'm experimenting with. But one of the things I found out in lighting, and I don't remember it being mentioned anywhere, if you go back, just review a bit what the front of the green, or the side of the Green Guardian looked like. You will notice that there's a lot of lighting. I turn all the lighting off, and the basic lighting that I put in really does overwhelm this guy here. So in these, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use the top NZXT fan control circuits as actually to control some lighting, which I can do. 12 volts, 12 volts. Because when it comes to fan control, I'm going to be using a motherboard. So I have the connections available, so I can go on top. In fact, here it is here. As I said, I had to take it off to think about getting the 200 in there. And as you can see, this is the fan control, and they're just connectors. And then so I can say, and I can actually control my non-reactive lighting just by doing this guy and setting the background and doing that. So that's one of those cool little adaptations for modifications you can do. Anyway, this is Chuck from Chucky's Corner, and sorry for the quality of the video. It's just I have to hold it because I don't have a camera person. And I hope this all helps as we progress with this project.